I learned in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He's very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
I find here that Don Pedro has bestowed much honor on a young Florentine named Claudio.
Claudio. Much deserved on his part and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He had borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing, in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion.
He has an uncle here in Messina that will be much glad on this.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him.
I pray you, is Signor Montalto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There is none such in the army of any sort.
Who is he that you asked for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as ever he was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, please, you do tax Signor Benedict too much, though he'll meet you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
Ooh, you have musty victual, and he hath hope to eat it. He's a very valiant trencherman, and he hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier, too, lady.
Oh, and a good soldier to a lady, but what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He's no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing, I mean, well, we are all mortal.
You must not mistake, my niece. There is a sort of merry war between Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there is a skirmish of wits betwixt them.
Alas, it is nothing by that. Now, in our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So, if he hath wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth the man hath left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Oh, very easily possible. He wears his faith as the fashion of his cap that ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No. Anywhere, I would burn my study. But, I pray you, who is his companion? Is it no young squarer now who will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord. It will hang upon him like a disease. No, he's sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God, help the noble Claudio. If he hath caught the Benedict, it'll cost him £1,000 ere he be cured. Too good a friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro has approached.
Good Senor Leonato, have you come to meet your troubles? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost. And you.
Never has trouble come to my home in the form of your grace.
Ah, you embrace your troubles too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Yes, your mother hath often told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
No, Signor Benedict, for then you were but a child.
Ah, you have it full, Benedict. We may guess by that which you are, being a man. True, the lady doth father herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all of Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you should still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
Ah, what? My sweet lady Disdain. Are you yet living?
Is it possible that Disdain should die while she has such meat food to feed it to Signor Benedict? Now, courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Well, in its courtesy a turncoat, for it is certain that I am loved of all ladies. Only you excepted. And would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would also have been troubled with a thank you, a pernicious suitor. Now, I thank God and my cold blood I'm of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestined scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, as 'twere such a face as yours were.
You are a rare parent teacher.
The bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
Oh, I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your ways, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. Now I know you of old,
That is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio, Signor Benedict. My dear friend Leonato here hath invited us all. I tell him we shall stay at least a month. He heartily prays for some occasion that may detain us longer.
You may swear, my lord, and you will not be forsworn. Count John, I must welcome you as well. Being reconciled with your brother, the prince, I owe you all oblations.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Your prince, will you walk in?
Your hand, Leonato, we shall go together.
Hey.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Well, do you ask me as a gentleman should for my simple, true judgment, or would you have me rather speak after my kind as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
In faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. But being as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. No, I pray thee.
No.
Tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, in a case to put it into.
In mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. Now there's her cousin, she not possessed with a fury, doth exceed her in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. Oh, but you have no intent to turn husband, do you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Has it come to this? Shall I never see a bachelor of 60 again? Well, go to it, thou must. Thrust thy neck in a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays, though. Ooh, refreshing. Here comes Prince. He comes to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you came not to Leonardo's?
Would your grace would constrain me to tell?
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
Well, Claudio, you hear? I can be as secret as a dumb man, but on my allegiance, well then, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? That is your grace's part. Now, mark you how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so were it uttered.
Hey! It is not so, nor 'twas not so, but God, indeed, it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen! If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is an opinion fire will not melt out of me. I will die upon it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her.
Oh.
that she likewise brought me up, I humbly give her thanks. But that I will have a reed sheet branded on my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women must pardon me, because I will do them no wrong by mistrusting them. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the simple is, which I will go the simpler, I will live a bachelor.
I will see thee ere I die. Look pale with love.
With sickness, with hunger, or with anger, my lord, but never with love. If I lose more blood with love than I get again with drinking, pluck out my eyes with a ballad maker's pin, and hang me upside the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I prove so, hang me up in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me.
Well,
And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
Well, the savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict do, pluck off the bull's horns, set them in my forehead, and let them be horribly painted. Here you may see Benedict, the married man.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonardo's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
Oh, I have almost so much matter in me for such an embassage, and therefore I commit you to...
To the tuition of God from my house.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict.
Knock, and so I leave you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child but hero, she's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
My lord, when you went onward on ascended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and the war thoughts have left their places vacant, and their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
Oh, sweetly you do minister to love that no loves grief by his complexion, but lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with longer treaties.
What needs the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve as fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I'll fit thee with the remedy. I know, we shall have revelry tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise and tell fair hero I am Claudio. Then to her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, take her hearing prisoner with force and strong effect of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I brave. And the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Now, my brother, where is my cousin, your son? Have he provided us music?
He is very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of.
Are they good?
As the events stand from them, they have a good cover. They show well outward. The prince, walking in my orchard with Count Claudio, were overheard by a man of Claudio, that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And should he find her a corner, he meant to take the present time by lot, top and instantly break with the others.
Now, have you any sense the fellow who told you this?
Oh, good short fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No. No, we will hold this as a dream until perchance it reveal itself. I shall acquaint my daughter with it withal, so that she will be better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this prove true. Go you and tell her of it.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jest. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and attend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother. He hath ta'en you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root but by the fair weather that you frame yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. It better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. And this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a claw. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am. Seek not to alter me.
Hey!
What news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince your brother is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Would serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, my lord, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
Proper squire. Which way looks he?
Mary on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonardo.
A very forward march check. How came you to this?
As I was smoking, comes me the prince and Claudio hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that Don Pedro shall woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, come. Let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup, with all the glory of my overthrow, if I can cross in any way, I bless myself everywhere. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Aye.
Let us to the great supper. Would the cook were on my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was that Count John at supper? I did not mark him. I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I'm heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. Now the one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other is too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
So half of Senior Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half of Count John's melancholy on Senior Benedict's face.
With a good foot and a good leg on rolling money enough in his purse. Such a man could win any woman in the world if he could get her goodwill.
Say, Denise, you will never win a husband if you be so shrewd as I am.
She's too good.
Too cursed is more than cursed. Now I shall lessen God's sending that way, for it is said that God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
So too cursed God will send you no more.
Just if he send me no husband. For the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. God! I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the wood.
Well, you might like upon a husband that has no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I'm not for him.
Miss, I would see you one day afraid with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered by a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle. Oh, none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it as a sin to match in my kindred.
Well, daughter, remember what I told you. The prince should solicit you in that kind. You know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if we be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him that there's measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero. Hero. Hero! Wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a syncopace. Now the first two is hot and hasty as a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, moderately modest as a measure, and full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad leg falls faster and faster, and at the same pace will sink into his grave.
Please, you see things passing through.
Oh, I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
Oh, the reverend's come, brother.
Lady, will you walk about with a friend?
So, you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing? I'm yours for the walk, but especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the Lichtwalt like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof, within the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Oh, I wish you didn't like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Well, which is one?
I say my prayers aloud. Oh God, oh God.
I love thee the more, a hearer may say amen.
Amen.
God, match me with a good dancer.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
And God, keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
That's a word I'm not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
But to tell you the truth, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. You are he, you are he.
I'm worthy of God.
Oh, come, do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Come, go to him. You are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, I pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now, no.
That I was disdainful.
Disdainful?
And then I got my good weight out of the 100 merry
Yeah,
tales.
no, 100 barely.
Why, 'tis Signor Benedict who said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Oh, not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
Why, I pray you, what is he?
Why, he's the prince's jester. A very dull fool, only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation lies not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I'm sure he's in the fleet.
When I know the gentleman, I will tell him what you say.
Do! Who but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into a melancholy, and then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leader.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good thing.
sure my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The lady's follower, and but one visor remains. Are not you, Signor Benedict?
You know me well, I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and swore you would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict would hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident avowedly proof which I must trust it not. Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Count Claudio! Ah!
Yea, the same.
Will you come, go with me.
Whither?
Even to the next willow tree about your own business. And tell me, how will you wear the garland? About your neck, like a user's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's sash? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
But did you think the prince would have served you then?
I pray you leave me!
Oh, you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Oh! Oh, poor hurt fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that the Lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's jester? Ah! I'm not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, and thus gives me out. Well, I will be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Have you seen him?
By my troth, I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren, and I think I told him true, that your grace hath got the goodwill of this lady, and I offer to give him company to the next willow tree, either to make a garland as being one forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as one being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
Oh, if that transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overexcited in finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, who steals it.
Wilt thou make trust to transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Well, it is not amiss that the rod should have been made. He might have used it on you, for I take it, your God is bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their saying is your singing, by my faith, you sing true.
The Lady Beatrice hath quarreled to you. The man who danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
She hath misused me past the endurance of a block. Ah, she said I was the prince's fool. Well, every word she speaks is a poignard. And every word stabs. You know, if her breath were as bad as her terminations, there would be no living by her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her were she endowed with all Adam had ere he transgressed. No, my lord, no. Do not talk of her.
Look, here she comes.
My lord, have you any employment for me? I will do embassage to the Antipodes. I will fetch you a toothpicker from the furthest inch of Asia. I will do embassage to the Pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. Have you any employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
God, this is a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, come, lady, you have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Married once before, he won it of me with false dice. Therefore, your grace may well say that I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady, you have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I prove the mother of fools. I brought Count Claudio to whom you sent me to seek.
How now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but a civil count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio. I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is one. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of your marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her all my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, let all grace say amen to it.
Amen!
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop up his mouth with a kiss and let not him freak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Oh, indeed, my lord. I thank it, poor fool, that keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
So she doth, cousin.
Good lord for alliance. Thus goes everyone to the world but I. And I'm sunburned. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey-ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I'd rather have one of your fathers getting. Had your grace ne'er a brother, like you, your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No. My lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace to pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, for to be married thus becomes you. For answer the question, you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Hi, my troth. Pleasant spirited lady.
Yes. Oh, there is little of the melancholy element in her. Oh, no. She is never sad, but when she sleeps. And never sad then, for my daughter tells me that she has often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughter.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, good Lord, no. She mocks all her wooers out of suits.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord. My Lord, were they married but a week, they would talk each other mad.
How now, Count? When mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Monday, I think, and that is time too soon to settle all things in my mind.
You shake your head at so long a sign, but I warrant thee, Claudia, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain make it a match, and I doubt not, but to fashion it, if you three will lend me assistance, I will give you direction.
I am with you, though it cost me 10 nights' watch.
And I, my lord.
And you two, gentle hero.
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. I will give you direction so you can practice on your cousin so that she falls in love with Benedict. And with your two help, we shall so practice on Benedict, who, despite his quick wit and queasy stomach, shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can accomplish this, Cupid is no longer the archer. His glory will be ours. For we are the only true love gods.
Love gods!
Go in with me and I will tell you my drift.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Amen. But I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
I think I told your lordship a year since. I am in the favor of Margaret, the Lady Hero's waiting gentlewoman.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her mistress' chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go to your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to that of a contaminated stale. Such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, to kill Leonardo. Look you for any other issue.
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. Hear Margaret term me Claudio. And bring them to see this the night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparations will be overthrown. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Grow this to what adversity she would can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the workingness, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I do much marvel that one man, after seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behavior to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the scorn of his own argument by falling in love. Such a man is Claudio. I have known him when the only music in him were the drum and the fife, and now he'd rather hear the tabor and the pipe. Well, shall I be so converted and see with these eyes? One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. Till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Oh, rich she shall be, that is certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair the color which pleaseth God. The prince and Monsieur love. I will hide me in the arbor.
See where Benedict hath hid himself.
Very well, my lord.
Come hither, Leonardo. What was it you told me today about your niece, Beatrice, being in love with Signor Benedict?
I did never think that lady could have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But how wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom in all outward behaviors she hath always seemed to abhor. My lord, I cannot think how to tell you. Oh, that she loved him with an enraged affection. Oh, it is past the infinite of thought. Oh.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Counterfeit? Oh, God! There was never a counterfeit of passion so near the life of passion as she discovered it.
Why? What effects of passion show she?
What effects, my lord? Well, she will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? I pray you, you amaze me. I would have thought her spirit invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would
This
have
can
so
be no
sworn
trick.
myself, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I would think this were a gull, but the white-bearded fellow says it. Knavery cannot sure hide itself in such reverence.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. And there is her torment.
'Tis true indeed. Shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
So she begins when she is sitting to write for him, for she will get me up 20 times a night. And there she sits in her smock until she has written a piece of paper. Oh, she has torn the letter into 1,000 papers and rails upon herself for being so immodest as to write to one that she knows must flout her. For, says she, I measure him in my own spirit, and I should flout him if he wrote to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then, down upon her knees, she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, Benedict, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
So she says, my daughter tells me so, and by then the ecstasy hath overborne her so much that my daughter is sometimes afeard that she will do a desperate outrage upon herself.
Kill herself. Yeah, go ahead.
It were good that Benedict would hear of this by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should. She's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all suspicion. She is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In all things but loving Benedict.
Will you walk, gentlemen? Dinner's ready.
Dinner?
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They had the truth of it of hero. Love me. Oh, well, must be requited. They say that I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she would rather die than show any sign of affection. Oh, well, I will not be proud. Happy is the man that hears his detractions and can put them to mending. They say, but the lady is fair. 'Tis true, I can bear it witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot recount it. And wise, but for loving me. by my troth. I'll be horribly in love with her! Now I might have some odd quirks and bits of wit broken upon me because I have railed so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? The man loves the meat of his youth that he cannot endure in his age. No! The world must be peopled! When I said I would die a bachelor, I never thought I'd live till I were married. Oh, here comes the lady. Well, by this day, she is fair. I do spy marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Chief Beatrice! I thank you for your pains.
Took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. If it were painful, I would not have come.
Well, did you take pleasure in the message?
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal.
Good one, good.
You have no stomach, senor. Fare you well.
I take pains no more. There is a double meaning in this. Well, if I do not take pity on her, I'm a villain. If I do not love her, I am a dog.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us and bid her steal into the bleached bower. There will she hide her to listen and propose.
Oh my God, okay. I'll make her come, I warrant you.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must be entirely of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be of how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Now begin, for look, when Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear all combat. No! Oh, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
What?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love! I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart prouder self than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn right sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all manner else seems weak. She cannot love! Rude! Take no shame, no project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make a sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how redly featured, that she would spell him backward. If barefaced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If dark-haired, why an ancient drawing of an antic made of foul blot? If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why he can look with all winds. If silent, by a bluff wit with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd, and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, why, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to So, let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sides, waste inwardly. You were better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet, tell her of it! Hear what she will say!
No! Rather, I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some understanders to sing my cousin with.
Hey. Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy. Always accepting my dear Claudio.
I pray be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor goes foremost in report throughout Italy. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel, which is the most fun to speak tomorrow.
She's blind. I warned you, madam, we have caught her.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What? Fire is in mine ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much, huh? For contempt? Farewell! And maiden pride, adieu! No glory lives behind the backs of such. And Benedict? Love on! I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost, love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind up our loves in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve it, and I believe it better than reportingly.
I do but stay to thy marriage be consummate, then go I toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great to soil the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I'll only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. His heart, sound as a bell, his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not what I have been.
So say I. I think you are sadder.
I hope you be in love.
Hang him, truant! There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Oh! What? Sigh for the toothache?
It is but a humor or a worm.
Every man may master a grief, but he that has it.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. He brushes his hat o' mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you not smell him out by it?
Yeah.
That's as much as to say, the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for that which I hear they say of him.
Nay, and his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, conclude! He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant one who knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions too, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
This is no charm for the toothache. Old senor, will you walk aside with me? I have studied 8 or 9 wise words that these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
Even so, Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good evening, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow.
You know he does.
I know not that. When he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent, and labor ill bestowed.
Why, what's the matter?
I came hither to tell you. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she. Leonardo's hero. Your hero. Every man's hero.
Disloyal.
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window enter, even the night before your wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her, but it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
Can this be so?
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I wooed with thee to obtain her, I'll join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Day untowardly turned.
O mischief strangely thwarting,
O plague right well prevented! So will you say when you have seen the sequel?
There'll be a 10-minute intermission.
Are you good man and true?
It said were a pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were punishment too good for them, should they have any allegiance in them being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor dog daring.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is a gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Master?
You have!
Yeah.
I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, give thanks to God and make no boast of it, and for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need for such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. Hop. Tap, tap. This is your charge. You are to comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How will not stand?
Why, then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God to be rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when bidden, He is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than speak. We know it belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping could offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How they will not, Stag?
Why then, let them alone till they be sober. If they make you not then better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for. If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such men, the less you meddle or make with them, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office, you may. But I think they that touch pitch may be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do meet a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man with any honesty in him.
If you hear a child crying in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her steal it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not wake?
Why then depart in peace and let the child wake her with crying, for the ewe that will not hear her lamb when he baas will never hear her calf when he bleeds.
Tis very true.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances? Call me up. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night.
Masters, we hear our charge, let us sit here upon the bench till 2, and then to bed.
One word more! Honest neighbors! Pray you, keep watch on Signor Leonato's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there's a great coil tonight. Adieu! Be vigilant. I beseech you.
How long have you ever seen that? So my elbow itch, I would think there would a stab follow.
I love the answer for that. And now forward with that tale.
Stand close. Under this house, where drizzles rain, and I, like a true drunkard, shall utter all to thee. Some trees of master. Stay close. Therefore, no. Therefore, no. I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible any villainy should be so good?
I'm sure rather asking me possible. Any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I know that villain. He's been a vile thief this 7 year. He goes up and down as a gentleman. I remember his name.
Dost thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on the house.
But therefore, no. I have tonight wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's waiting gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress' chamber window and bids me 1,000 times good night. Good night. Shall I tell this tale violently? I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and my master, planted, placed, and possessed by my master, Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter. Yeah.
And Father Margaret was hero.
Two of them did. The prince and Claudio. But Devil, my master, knew she was Margaret. And partly by his oath, which first possessed them. Partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villain.
Shit.
Did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed tomorrow morning, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight, and send her home again without a husband! Charge you with call the right
Dangerous speech lettering. That was everyone in the call him up.
One deformed is one of them. I know handy where's a lot.
Master, never speak! We charge you! Let us obey you to go with us!
Here like to prove a good commodity being taken in a man of these bills.
The commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, sir, we'll obey you.
Hop, hop! Hop, hop!
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and design her to rise. I will, lady. And bid her come hither. Well,
Troth, methinks the other Rabata were better.
now prithee, good man, go with this.
By my troth's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. Oh, enough with this. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceedingly heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon with the weight of a man.
I'm not ashamed.
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have to say, saving the fragrance of a husband. And that thinking do not rest true speaking, I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife, else is light not heavy. Ask my lady vehicles else. Here she comes.
Good morrow, cuz.
Tomorrow, so we hear. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock. That 'tis time you were ready. For my troth, I am exceeding ill, hey-ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband.
For the letter that begins them all.
Well, and you be not turned Turk, there'll be no more sailing by star.
What means the fool trow?
Nothing, I, but God send everyone their heart's desires.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
Ah, I'm stuffed, cousin, I cannot smell.
Made and stuffed. There's nothing catching a cold.
God help me. No, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become thee rarely?
Ah, it is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I'm sick. Look.
Oh, get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a calm.
There are no pricks of the thistle.
Benedictus. Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy titzel.
Thistle.
Thistle. Perchance, I think you are in love. Nay, by your lady, I'm not such a fool to think what I list. Nor list I not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think if I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love. Or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedict was such another, and now has he become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. How you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What peace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false skeleton.
Withdraw! The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town have come to fetch you to church. They'll be to us.
Certainly, this it is, sir.
Yeah, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, good neighbors?
Goodman Burgess, sir, speaks a little off the manner. An old man, sir, his wits are not so blunt as God help I would desire them to be, but honest as the skin between his brows.
I thank God I'm as honest as any man living that is an old man and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous palabras, neighbor Burgess.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, were I as tedious as a king, I could find in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me.
And 1,000 pounds more than 'tis for. I hear as good exclamation of your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
Neighbors, I would fain know what you have to say.
Mary, sir, I watched tonight, accepting your worship's present, have taken a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir. He will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, 'tis a world to see. Well said in faith, neighbor Burgess. God's a good man, and two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul, faith, is ever broke bread, but God's to be worshipped. All men are not alike, Alaskan neighbor.
He comes far short of you, neighbor.
Oh, gifts that God gives.
I must leave you now.
One word, sir. Our watch have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons and would have them examined this morning for your worship.
Take their examinations yourselves and bring it to me in the morning. I take my leave now.
Shall
Great rush.
be suffragance.
Very well.
Go, good partner. Get you to Francis C. Koehn. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
We shall spare for no winds, I warrant you. Hop, 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 hop! Hop, hop, hop! Hop, 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 hop! Hop, hop, hop!
Now, briefly, Friar Francis, directly to the simple part of the marriage.
Come you hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
Oh, you come to be married to this lady, Friar. You come to marry her.
Lady, come you hither to be married to this count?
I do.
Either of you know any inward impediments why you should not be conjoined, charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer for him. None!
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now? Interjections? Well, then some be of laughing as ha 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 ha.
Stand thee by, Friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid your daughter?
As freely, son, as God gave her me.
And what if I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo! Take her back again! Give not this rotten orange to your friend! She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold! How like a maid she blushes here! Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were made by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
My prince, what do you mean?
Not to be married, not to dip my soul to an approved wanton.
Sweet my prince, if you have made vanquishment of her youth and defeated her virginity,
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonardo. I never tempted her with words too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
It seemed I am otherwise to you.
Hell, seeming! I will ride against it! You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wise?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand here dishonored to have gone about to link my dear friend here to some common stale.
These things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
Leonardo, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All these things are true, but what of it?
Let me but move one question to your daughter. And by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly. As you, my child, I bid you to say.
God defend me. How I am beset. What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Mary, that can hero. Hero itself can blot out hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now if you are made answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then you are no maid. Leonardo, I am sorry, but you must hear. Upon my honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her. Here, at that very hour, speak with a ruffian at her chamber window, who indeed hath confessed the 1,000 vile encounters they have had in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of.
Hero. What a hero hadst thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee, I'll lock up all the gates of love.
And no man's dagger hero point for me!
Hero, I forsake you down!
Come, let us go. Things come thus to light, smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, Benedict Prior, I'm gone.
Oh, fates, take not away thy heavy hand! Death is the purest cover for her shame that can be wished for.
How now, cousin hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Look'st thou up?
Why, wherefore should she?
Wherefore? Doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Hero, do not live, do not open thine eyes, for did I not think that thou wouldst quickly die, myself would, under real without reproach. Grieved I had but one too many by thee. Why had I?
My soul, my cousin is blind.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, but until last night I just 12 months been her bedfellow.
Confirmed, would the two princes lie? Would Claudio lie, who loved her so that when he spoke of her foulness, he bathed it in tears? Hands from her! Let her die!
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent for so long and given unto this course of fortune. By noting of the lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions, to start into her face 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness, beat away those shames, and in her eye hath appeared a fire to burn the errors these princes hold against her maiden truth. call me a fool. Trust not my reading, nor my observation. Trust not my age, my reverence calling, nor divinity. If this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Right. It cannot be. Seest thou not that all the grace that she hath left is not to add to her damnation a sin of perjury? She not denies it. Why seek you to cover with excuse that which is seen in its proper nakedness?
Please. What man is he you are accused of?
They know that to accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man than that which made in modesty doth warrant that all my sins have mercy. Oh, my Father, prove me that any man with me converse that I was on me, or that I, yes, when I maintain the change of words with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in these princes.
Two of them have the very bent of honor, yet their wisdoms be misplaced in this. The practice lives in John the Bastard, whose soul toils in villainies.
I know now. If they speak but truth of her, then these hands will tear her. If they do belie her honor, then the proudest of them will well view it. Time has not yet so dried this blood of mine. No fortune made such havoc of my means, no my bad life left me so much reft of friends. What they shall find awakened in this kind strength of limb and a policy of mind to quit me of them through thee.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, those princes left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Hang mournful epitaphs, and maintain all rights pertaining to a burial.
But friar, what will this do?
Oh, marry, sir, this well carried will on her behalf change slander to remorse, and this is some good. Upon the instant she was accused, she shall be lamented, pitied, and excused by every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have we prize not, but being lacked and lost, why then we find the virtue. And so shall it be with Claudio when he shall hear she died upon his words. Then the idea of her life will sweetly creep into his study of imagination. And she shall come apparelled in more precious habit, moving, delicate, and full of life than ever when she lived indeed. And then shall he mourn and wish he had not so accused her? No, though he thought the accusation true, and doubt not but success. But if all be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. Should it sort not well, you can conceal her in a reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, minds, tongues, and injuries.
Senor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know my love and inwardness is very much unto Count Claudio and the Prince, I will deal in this as secretly and as justly as your soul should with your body.
You mean that I flow in grief? This was twine, baby.
'Tis well consented. Come, lady. Die to live. This wedding is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
I am sure your fair cousin is much wrong.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would write her?
Is there a way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in this world so well as you. Oh, it's not that strange.
Strange is the thing I know not. It was possible for me to say that I loved nothing so well as you. But believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I'm sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, sweet Beatrice, you love me?
Oh, do not swear and eat it.
Oh, I will swear by my sword that you love me, and I will make a meaning that says, I love not you!
Will you not eat your word?
No, with no sauce that can be divined to it. I protest, I love you.
Oh, and then God forgive me!
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest that I love you!
Do it with all my
I
heart!
love you with so much of my heart, there is none left to protest!
Bid me do anything in the world for thee!
Kill Claudio!
Nay, not for the wide world!
You kill me to deny it. Very well.
No, I stay.
Oh, I'm gone. No, I am here. There is no love in you. May I pray you let me go?
No, we'll be friends first.
You dare. Easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Claudio, thine enemy.
Is not approved in the height of villain who hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman. Oh, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand till they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace!
Sweet Beatrice!
I talk with a man out of the window, yeah, proper saying. Oh, sweet hero,
Nay,
she's
but
wrong. She is slandered. She is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties. Surely, a princely testimony. A goodly count. Oh, that I were a man for whose sake. Or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. Ah, but manhood is melted into currencies, and valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongues, and trim ones too. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with craving.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice. Bite this hand. I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge Claudio. I will kiss your hand, and I will leave thee. If thou heareth me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. So farewell.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Here is a chair for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that am I, and my partner.
Yea, but we're here, sir.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. what is your name, friend?
Baraccio.
Pray, write down Baraccio. Yours, Sirrah?
I'm a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yes, sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God, and write God first for God, defend that God go before. Such villains, masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves. How answer you for yourself?
Very, sir, we say we are not.
A marvelous, witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, Sirrah. A word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is not that you are false knaves, sir.
I say that we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you written down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are the accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Up, 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 up. Master! Aurelea! I charge you in the prince's name. Accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that the prince's brother, Don John, was a villain.
Write down Prince John, a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call the prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow peace, I do not like thy look at
Okay.
What heard you him say else?
Mary Ford. For you never seen 1,000 ducats of John for accusing a lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean upon his word to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned to everlasting redemption for this.
What else? This is all. And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John was this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands of the watch, and take us in like a owl!
Away! You're an ass! You're an ass! Dost thou not suspect my place? Oh, that the sexton were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not writ down, forget not that I am an ass. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina. And one that knows the law, bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass!
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray you cease with your counsel, which falls as profitless in mine ear as water in a sieve.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
And there thou speak sense. Nay, I will do it. My soul tells me that Hero is belied, and the prince shall know of it, and Claudio, and all of them that so dishonor her.
Well, here comes the prince and Claudio, hastily.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good day to both.
Hear me, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonardo.
Oh, have you haste? Well, fare you well, my lords. Are you so hasty now?
Do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Why, thou wrongest me, dissembler. Thou put not thy hand on thy sword. I fear thee not.
Mary, shrew my hand if it should give your ancients cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man. Never fear and jest at me. I do not speak as a dotard, or a fool, or under privilege of age, bragging what I have done being young, or what I would do were I not old. Know thou, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me, that I must set my reverence by, and with gray hairs and the bruise of many days, do challenge thee to the trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. She lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy!
Thine, I say, thine!
You say not right, old man.
Wait! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou doff me thus? Thou slain my child! Thou killst me, boy. Thou shalt kill a man.
I shall kill two of us. And men indeed. I'll whip you from your pointing fist as I am a gentleman, I will.
My brother.
Now, content you. God knows I love my niece and is dead, slandered to death by villains, boys, apes, jacks.
Brother
and
Anthony.
Hold you content. What man, I know them. Yea, what they waver to the utmost scruple, scambling, outpacing, fashion-mongering boys, that lie and cog and flounce, deprave and slander.
Please, Brother Anthony.
Do not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both! We will not wake your patience.
My lord.
My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But upon my honor, she was charged with nothing that was but truth, and very full of proof.
My lord.
I will not hear you.
Come, brother. I take my leave. I will be heard.
And shall, for some of us smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
How now, senor, what news?
Good morrow, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part. Almost afraid.
You'd like to have had our two noses snapped off with two old men without teeth, right?
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high proof melancholy and would fain have it beaten away. What thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Doth thou wear thy wit by thy side?
I will bid thee draw as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us.
I wish you did pick another subject.
As I am an honest man, he appears pale. Art thou sick or angry?
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good. Where you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. You have killed a sweet young lady. Her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you so I may have good cheer.
What? A feast? A feast?
If faith, I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Your wit ambles. It goes easily.
Shall I tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day?
Oh.
I said that thou hast a fine wit. Right, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Yes, said she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Thus did she, an hour together, transshape thy particular virtues, when at last she concluded with a sigh that Thou wast the properest man in Italy.
And for the which she wept heartily and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. And if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. Old man's daughter told us so.
All. And moreover, God saw him when he was hidden in the garden.
When shall we set the savage bull's horns on sensible Benedict's head?
Right. And a text underneath, right? Here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Very well, boy. You know my mind. I leave you now to your gossip-like humor. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue our company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. Have, among you, killed a sweet and innocent lady. As for my Lord Lackbeard here, he knows my mind. Peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
He must be found earnest. And I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is. To go about in his doublet and hose and leave off his wit. Hey, did he not say my brother had fled?
Come me, sir! If justice cannot tame you, she shall dare weigh more raisins in her balance.
How now? 2 of my brother's men bound. Officers, what offense have these men done?
Nay, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have polite a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
Firstly, I'll ask what they've done. Thirdly, what's their offense? Sixth and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
False knaves.
What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools. Who in the night overheard me confessing to this man, Romero. Now Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander Hero. How you were brought to the orchard to see me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her. The Lady Hero is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it. Oh, sweet Hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify what time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Which of these is he?
You must look on your honor. I am he.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hath slain mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
Oh, no, not thou, villain, thou beliest thyself. For here stand 2 honorable men. A third is fled, who had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with thy high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you think yourselves of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose or revenge yourself, and pose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. Yet to satisfy this good old man, I'll bend under any heavy weight. He'll enjoy me too.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. but I pray you both possess the good people in Messina here. How innocent she died. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, since you could not be my son-in-law. Yet my nephew, my brother hath a daughter, the very copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to us both. Give her the honor you should have given a cousin. Here dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your over-kindness doth bring tears for me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
I expect you on the morrow tonight. I take my leave. This naughty man must face to face be brought with Margaret, who is wrapped up in all this wrong, I believe, hired to it by your brother.
No, no, no! On my soul, she was not. Nor knew she not what she did when she spoke to me, but always was just and virtuous in anything I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under black and white, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment.
Well, I thank thee, this is for your pains.
God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it.
Hey!
Come never!
Until tomorrow, princes, I take my leave.
Farewell, my lords. Wait up for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with heroes.
Let these fellows be taken forward, we will, to Margaret to find out how her acquaintance with this new fellow grew.
Oh, pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
Oh, in so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me? Why shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as the greyhound's mouth, it catches.
And yours as blunt as a fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret, it will not hurt a woman, and so I pray thee, call Beatrice.
I'll call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. The God of love that sits above and knows not me, and knows not me. How pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, not in love. Oh, Mary, I cannot show it rhyme, I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby. For scorn, horn. For school, fool. I was not born under a rhyming planet. I cannot woo in festival terms. Oh, sweet Lady Beatrice, how comes it when I call?
Yea, senor, and depart when you bid me.
Stay but till then.
Then it is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudia.
Only foul words. Thereupon, I will kiss thee.
Ah, foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
I will tell thee plainly that Claudia undergoes my challenge. Now tell me, which of my bad parts did you first fall in love?
For them altogether. Which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good parts to intermingle with them. But for which of my love from you.
Suffer love. A good epitaph. For I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Oh, Liz, poor heart. If you fight it for my sake, I'll fight it for yours. I will never love that which my friend hates.
Ah! You and I were not meant to woo peaceably. Now by my faith, I'm not your cousin.
Very ill.
How do you?
Very ill too.
Well, serve God, love me, and men.
Madam,
Here comes one in haste.
you must come to your uncle. It is proved my lady hero has been falsely accused, the Prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you come hear this news, senor?
I will live in thy eyes, die in thy heart, and be buried in thy lap. And moreover, I will go with you to your uncle.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
As are the Prince and Claudio, who accused her under the error that you heard debated. Though Margaret was in some way involved in this wrong, though not, it appears, by her own will.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
So am I, for by my faith I had called young Claudio to a reckoning.
Well, daughter, and gentlewomen all, retreat now to a chamber by yourselves, and when I summon you hither, come forward masked. Brother, you know your charge. You must be father to your brother's daughter and deliver her to the young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I do entreat your pains, I think.
To what, senor?
To bind me or undo me, I one of them. Signor Leonato, good signor, your niece doth regard me with an eye of favor.
And my daughter lent her, I think.
And I do requite her with an eye of love.
And I, given sight, I think by myself, Claudio and the Prince. But what's your will?
Well, your answer is enigmatical. My will is that your will would stand with ours, that this day we might be joined in the state of holy matrimony, in which I will need your help, Friar.
Well, I am with your liking.
And by help, here come the Prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Is it still your will to marry my brother's daughter today?
I'll hold my mind. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
No.
This, then, is she. And I give her to you freely.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
That you will not, until you take her hand before this friar and agree to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like me.
And when I was your other wife, you lived. When you were my other husband, you loved.
Another hero?
Nothing, Savannah. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero! The hero that was dead!
She was dead, but one slenderly.
All this amazement can I qualify when after that the holy rites have ended, I will tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder sing familiar, and to the chapel, let us
Sweet and fair friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no more than reason.
But then your uncle and the prince and Claudio be deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
No more than reason.
Well, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
Oh, they swore you were well nigh dead for me.
Oh, no such man. Well, then, you do not love me.
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I think you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her. For here's a letter written in his hand, a halting sonnet of yes, Beatrice.
And here's another, written my cousin's hand stolen from her pocket.
Saying her affection unto Benedict.
Yikes.
A miracle. Our own hands against our hearts. Well, come, I will have thee. But by this day, I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in consumption.
Now stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the merry man?
Sweet prince, a college of wit-crackers could not flap me out of my humor, and since I purpose to marry, I will hear no purpose in the world against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer, which, out of question, thou wilt be. My cousin do not look exceeding narrowly on thee.
Come, we will be friends. Oh, Prince, you look sad. Get thee a wife! Get thee a wife! Yes, it's been a long night. Please invite them. We'll also be doing this Thursday through Saturday at 7 next week. And at the end of the month, we'll be offering Oscar Wilde's Salome. So be sure to come out for that. Now just look us up on stagandliontheater.com.
Yes, that's right.
And thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, and I think the entire company, we remain your everlasting and eternal servants. Thank you.